Hey guys, welcome to Jazz Guitar Lessons. This is a call which I will hold with Brian, who's going to be with us in a moment. And Brian is the winner of the June 2024 Fellowship Contest that was taking place on Tenor Madness. It was awesome. So if you guys want to come in and join us, you can either watch the other guys' video or submit your videos of you playing and get some really relevant feedback, hang out with the community. And it's for a cost of $0. It's totally free, so join us. And what we'll do in this call is basically I will answer Brian's question. This is an A.M.A. with yours truly. This is meaning ask me anything. So Brian's going to join us on Zoom and we'll have a chat. Welcome Brian to the call. Congratulations on the win on the Jazz Guitar Fellowship. So for this ask me anything, you wanted to cover two main questions. Is there one specifically you'd like to cover it?
So the most specific thing is in the development of solo guitar arrangements. My biggest thing is I can recognize what notes in the melody, but what I can't recognize quickly enough is what inversion to use.
Okay.
In terms of the chord, that's always been like, oh man, which one do I play?
Got it. You mentioned you did My Funny Valentine. Did you do a pre-arranged thing, or you did it all on your own?
I did like half pre-arranged and half on my own. Like I found this as like a pre-arrangement, but then this part, oh, that was messy. Still messy, but that part I did on my own. The rest of it on my own. Even that stuff I did on my own.
Beautiful. Okay. Very, very nice. So I'll start with this piece of advice. For me, I got a lot of value in looking at, say, the Galbraith solo guitar book. It's called Guitar Solos, and it's not like improv solos. It's like solo guitar. I think that's the first or second piece in the book, My Funny Valentine, in C minor. So it's worth the check, because even though I didn't do like the entire thing, or I would look at pieces, I would only grab things that interest me first off. So that's a really powerful thing to do, to walk in someone else's shoes with regards to how they've done it, and then make it your own. Maybe change a rhythm, because it's written like, it's really pedantic, but then you can take it your own. Second thing, I'll just pull off a chart so we're on the same page. Maybe from the real book or something. And one of the best things to do is to not necessarily do an inversion for each of the notes of the melody. So that would be a really, really good starting point, because it is doable. Like I'll just change camera, maybe do a demo. So what Brian would be attempting to do is like, right, so that's very tedious to work with. So what I could do is find out if there's a voicing I could stick to. So say this one. Then go like, summarize, so it becomes more of a counterpoint game, meaning that a chord can host several melody notes. It depends on your arrangement, depends on the context. But to boil it back down to first principles, there's really three things we can do upon a melody note. We could either strike a chord with it, we could strike a chord before or after it, or we could do no action and have either the previous chord ring out or just have the melody in the space, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Any follow-ups to that? I went faster through a bunch of stuff.
Yeah, that works. So focus more on like a counterpoint idea, right? Because I can use one chord for several melody notes versus trying to use a chord for every melody note.
Yeah. Go ahead.
And then the last part, the how do you know which chord is always like the most ideal voicing to use? Like, is there like a quick reference point that you use in your mind? Like, oh, I know exactly what chord to use for that.
There are guidelines, but it's not clear cut, right? So what we talked about, this counterpoint would be, say if you have contrary motion, da 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 da, like of course da 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 da, like it's going up. So we may do a descending bass line, for instance, just to contrast it. you seem to have the chops to do all the inversions when you want them. So say that would be a texture. Doing the least and more counterpuntal thing would be another kind of texture. Now to be specific with the voicing kind, like do I want to do this versus just this? Versus is there a sixth in it? Versus this versus that? Then it becomes a matter of context. So it's not clear cut, but if you're in a context where you have these big thick chords, and you just have one thin, it's like, it doesn't fit. Or vice versa, like you're doing all very thin chords, like 2 or 3 notes, and then you make something that's out of place, that will dictate which kind of voicing you want to use. So the bare bone, like, the go-to is 4 notes, drop 2s, drop 3s, and 3 notes also work well, especially if we have to forego the root. So that's... unfortunately it's very vague, right, as far as instruction, but it's tackling these arrangements from books and doing more tunes, and eventually it solves itself, if it makes sense.
Yeah. I'll definitely check it out. You said the Frank Galbraith, right?
Barry Galbraith.
Barry Galbraith. Okay.
Galbraith's guitar solos. Yes, he's got 2 volumes, and
does he explain like why his thought process behind the development of the arrangements, or it's just arrangements?
It's just arrangements. But the good thing is they're really pedagogical in that the first one is easier than the second one, than the third, and then they just get increasingly more difficult. So the first one, you're like, obviously he's doing like, he's doing Darn That Dream. So it's like. It's like very awesome, guys. Thanks for watching. So this was just a clear, quick cut of what Brian and I discussed about. We talked about some chord melody stuff, some altered dominance, and some metronome work. If you want to watch a full free video of this interview, you can join the fellowship for free. Link in the description below, and I'll see you on the rest of this channel and on jazzguitarlessons.net. Take care.